Hello everybody, I'm your host Julia and welcome to the Potomac View. In this show, we aim to share news and stories that are heavily suppressed by the Chinese Communist Party. Our goal is to shine a unique light on the truth behind everything we hear from the mainstream media about China and help you, our audience, to form your own opinions. In this episode, we are going to take a deep dive into a political incident occurred in Beijing that shook the world. On Saturday, 22nd October 2022, at the closing ceremony of the 20th National Congress in Beijing, the world watched one of the most extraordinary events in the gruesome history of purges in the Communist state of China. Chairman Xi Jinping had his immediate predecessor Hu Jintao forcibly removed from the Congress. The former chairman of China, Hu Jintao, attempted to give a speech at the closing ceremony of the Congress after he had found out the name list of the new Politburo candidate was totally different from the one that Xi had discussed and agreed with him and the other most influential CCP seniors before the Congress. The candidates on the old list that represented the families of the most powerful CCP seniors were totally replaced by those of Xi's cronies. However, Xi Jinping pushed the microphone away and signaled his bodyguard to escort Hu. Hu would like to have an opportunity to speak to the representatives of the Congress. According to Miles Guo, here are the 5 key suggestions in Hu's script. Number 1. Objecting invasion of Taiwan under any circumstances. Number 2. Objecting the quarantine and zero COVID policy. Number 3. Continuing internal economic reform. Number 4. Developing democracy in the Communist Party. Number 5. Approving of Xi's re-election for the 3rd term under special circumstances, as long as it's his last term. Pretty constructive proposals, weren't they? However, Xi deprived him of speaking. Now imagine if such an incident would play out in the US. It is November of 2024. President Biden secures his re-election. Then he began publicly prosecuting his predecessor, President Trump. What would the aftermath look like in the US? What kind of political instability and civil unrest would it bring forth? Let's say Biden is not happy with Trump's big mouth and then puts Trump, his family, and all his staff, including his driver, under house arrest. Biden even threatens Trump to shut up, or his children or grandchildren would be in danger. How would the public and the national institutions react to this?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
In comparison, however, the United States has a sound legal system and the rule of law. No matter what office or position one may hold, he or she must abide by law. No one is above the law. However, in communist state, Xi himself is the law. As the ruling emperor, Xi is bending Chinese laws to his will. And he even wants to rule the whole world. Immediately after Hu's incident in the Congress, Hu was directly escorted to Jinxi Hotel under house arrest. Meanwhile, his wife, children, and grandchildren, as well as all his staff, including his driver, were under house arrest as well. Xi's other off-the-power rivals and their family and close circles also experienced the same kind of treatment. The reason for Xi to do so was to prevent the CCP seniors from uniting to resist from behind the scenes. Hu was even persuaded to support the new Politburo and admit to the public that he was unwell, which was untrue. to justify their lie that Hu's escort from the Congress was due to his health issue. Otherwise, his children and grandchildren would be in danger. Let me ask you this. If Hu really had some health issue, why wasn't Hu's private doctor or other doctors from the Congress called in instead of Xi's bodyguard to Hu's forcible removal? Hu's incident is indeed newsworthy, but you may still wonder why it is relevant and how it impacts international relations. We can see Xi's power and influence has not been thwarted but reinforced through the incident. We want to highlight several key facts and present our analysis. Based on the incident, we could infer that Xi has 100% power control. The CCP has become Xi's party, and the PLA, People's Liberation Army, has become Xi's army, as it is clearly stated at 20th National Congress that the army should obey the CCP's command. Now, there is no rivalry or accountability in the upper echelon of the Chinese government, which is quite similar to the time of Adolf Hitler before World War II. Hitler had a famous quote that represents the current phenomenon in the Chinese political system. To conquer a nation, first disarm its citizens. Whether the citizens are like students protesting in front of Tiananmen Square, or like Xi's political opposition who merely attempts to give a speech. Xi vows to be suppressive and draconian. Xi is also plunging China into Maoist chaos. First of all, Xi is a great admirer of Adolf Hitler and Chairman Mao. He was even nicknamed Little Mao. What do you think Xi would do to make full use of his power? What political legacy do you think Xi would leave to the 1.4 billion population? Do you think his decisions will affect you as a citizen enjoying democracy and freedom in the West? Do you think Xi will keep tightening zero-COVID policy during his third 5-year term? Will he be socializing national supply agencies, abolishing the private economy with public ownership? Do you think Xi will invade Taiwan and start World War III? Do you think the world order is being threatened by Xi's economic power and military forces after he has seized power? In the next episode, we will bring more insights into how Xi's third term could potentially turn the world upside down with his selfish ambition and ruthless domination without restraint. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, and we'll see you next time.